Welcome to the 50th tutorial in Python. In today's tutorial, we'll be taking a look at file handling in Python. So let's get straight into it.
File handling is how a program interacts with files stored on a computer. So this includes reading data from files, writing data to files, and updating existing content. So let's try to open a file using code. So before we start our code, we first need to have a file, which is this file over here, example.txt. This file contains 3 sentences. I like Python, Python is the best, and AI is cool. And we'll go back to our code. So what we're going to do over here is before we edit or read any file, we first have to open it. So to open a file, we have to store it in a variable, which we'll be calling file. File is equal to open double quotes example.txt. So now that you've got our file over here, then we have to open it in a specific sort of mode. Currently, we're just reading our file. So we'll keep it in a read mode, which we indicate through small r. Now, we want to print the content in our file. So if we just print file, and then we close the file after that to save memory, and we run the code, it just tells us the name of the file, and it tells Python how you want to use the file. The name, which is example.txt, and the mode, which is the read mode. So whenever you open a file, Python gives you a file object. So this object is the way you connect your Python code to your computer. So now, how do we store the read data in a variable and print it out? Well, the first line stays the same, but we make a change over here. We'll make another variable called content, which stores our file's contents. So over here, we'll just put file.read, which will execute the read function, and it'll store all the data of our file. And if we just print content, and after that, we're just going to close the file to save memory. And then when you run the code, it tells us the 3 lines we kept in our file. This allows us to read from a file. But let's say the file is large and you want to read it line by line. Well, we do that through another sort of technique in which we use a loop. So we have file is equal to open example text in the read mode, and we'll just do for line in file print line dot strip, which removes any unnecessary spaces, and then we're going to close the file to save space. And if we run the code, this time it goes through every single line and reads one line at a time. And you see, normally there are a few characters after we end a line which are hidden, and the strip method removes all the extra new line characters, so our output looks clean. So this is more better because it takes up less memory, because it goes line by line instead of taking the whole thing at once. And it's commonly used in real-life applications. Now, how can we edit our file? Well, we can do that by changing the mode. Over here, we're going to open it in a read mode, but we'll change it to write mode, which is indicated with a W. Then we go back and we'll just say file.write hello world. And to make sure there's a new line after that, we just put /n. Then we also write another line which says file.write file handling is cool. Then we put a new line after that to make our code and our text more neater. And then we'll close the file. File dot close. Now if we run the code over here, we edited the file, but there's no code because we don't really print anything. But if we go and open our new file over here, as you can see, it changed the content of our file to hello world, and file handling is cool. Now, previously, we had 3 lines in this example of txt, but we just override it and we just put 2 new sentences. But what if you don't want to delete everything? What if you want to keep the 3 sentences and put something after that? So we'll just type the 3 sentences in again. So Python is cool. I like Python. And AI is cool. Now if you open our code, file handling.py, over here, rather than using the write mode, we'll be using a mode called append. So append does not overwrite it and it does not delete the existing data. It adds content. So again, we'll keep file write because at the end of the day, we're adding data. So we'll just be using the file write method. And now we'll close the file, rerun it. Now if we go to our example, now it says hello world. Now to open your files in a neater way, we'll be showing you the with statement. So rather than just opening a file and storing the variable and wasting more space, we'll just use with. So with open the file and we'll store it in a new variable called file again. But this time we're not directly storing it. It allows us to be more flexible with our code. And this time we'll put the same code as before. Content is equal to file dot read. Then move on to the next line. Oh yeah, you see, after you put with, you can't just go on to the next line. You'll have to put an indentation or else it will result in the classic indentation error. Print content. Then if you run the code, oh sorry, it's saying file.read because we are putting append and not read. Let us change to R. And then when you run the code, it tells us Python is cool, I like Python, AI is cool, hello world. The with statement automatically closes the file when the block ends. So you don't have to type file.close again. It just does it by itself.
If this video helped you understand how to handle your files in Python, make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. And stay tuned for the next tutorial.